It is the one certainty every human being has always shared. Kings could not escape it. Warriors could not defeat it. Scientists could not explain it away. Empires rose and disappeared. Civilizations flourished and vanished. Yet death remained. For thousands of years, humanity has fought countless enemies: disease, famine, war, nature itself. But one opponent has never been defeated: time. From the earliest civilizations, people dreamed of eternal life. Ancient Egyptian pharaohs built pyramids, hoping to reach immortality. Chinese emperors searched for mythical elixirs of life. Medieval alchemists believed they could discover a substance that would conquer death itself. The dream never disappeared. Only the methods changed. Today, the search no longer takes place inside temples or hidden laboratories. It happens inside research institutes, universities, and biotechnology companies around the world. For the first time in history, scientists are not simply asking, "Why do we die?" They are asking something even more extraordinary. What if aging itself can be slowed? Modern biology has revealed something remarkable. We do not suddenly become old. We age, cell by cell. Every second, millions of our cells repair themselves. Others divide. Others die. Over time, this repair system becomes less efficient. DNA accumulates damage. Proteins begin to fail. Cells lose their ability to function properly. This gradual decline is what we call aging. In other words, aging is not a single event. It is a biological process. And if it is a biological process, could it someday become a biological problem with a biological solution? That possibility has transformed one of humanity's oldest dreams into one of modern science's most ambitious challenges. For the first time, death is no longer discussed only by philosophers. It is being studied by geneticists, neuroscientists, engineers, and artificial intelligence researchers. The question is no longer simply, will we die? The question has become, can science change what has always seemed inevitable? For most of history, aging was accepted as inevitable, something no one could change. But modern science is beginning to ask a different question. What if aging is not simply the passage of time, but a process we can understand and perhaps one day influence? One of the first clues lies at the ends of our chromosomes, tiny protective structures called telomeres. Every time a cell divides, its telomeres become slightly shorter. Over many years, they eventually become too short to protect the cell effectively. The cell stops dividing or begins to function poorly. Scientists believe this is one of several biological processes that contribute to aging. Another breakthrough came with CRISPR, a revolutionary gene editing technology. For the first time, researchers gained a powerful tool capable of precisely modifying DNA. Today, CRISPR is already being studied for treating certain inherited diseases. Researchers are also investigating whether similar technologies could one day help address some mechanisms associated with aging. But the science is still in its early stages. Another promising field focuses on senescent cells, sometimes called zombie cells. These cells no longer divide normally, yet they remain inside the body. Over time, they can contribute to inflammation and age-related disease. Experimental medicines known as senolytics aim to remove some of these damaged cells. In laboratory studies and some animal research, scientists have observed encouraging results. Whether these approaches will safely and effectively extend healthy human lifespan remains an active area of research. The human body is also becoming increasingly repairable. Artificial organs, 3D bioprinting, advanced prosthetics, stem cell therapies, and regenerative medicine are transforming healthcare. Many treatments that seemed impossible only decades ago are now becoming reality. Artificial intelligence is accelerating this progress even further. AI can analyze enormous biological data sets, identify potential drug candidates, and help researchers discover patterns that would take humans years to find. What once required decades may one day take only months. Even so, every major breakthrough brings new questions. Can we extend life without extending years of illness? Can we slow aging without creating new risks? And perhaps the biggest question of all, where is the boundary between treating disease and fundamentally changing what it means to grow old? Science has brought humanity closer than ever before to understanding aging. But understanding something is not the same as conquering it. The dream of defeating death remains alive. Yet for now, it is still a journey, not a destination. Imagine that one day science succeeds. Not tomorrow, not next year, but sometime in the future. Imagine aging is dramatically slowed. People routinely live for 150, 200, or even longer. How would the world change? Would humanity become wiser or simply older? Would families stay together for centuries, or would society struggle beneath the weight of endless generations? Would innovation accelerate or slow down if the same people held power for hundreds of years? History has always moved forward because generations changed. New minds replaced old ideas. New discoveries challenged old beliefs. Death, as painful as it is, has always made room for new beginnings. If that cycle disappeared, what would happen to civilization? Some scientists argue that extending healthy lifespan could reduce suffering. Fewer age-related diseases, more years with loved ones, more time to learn, to create, to explore. Others warn that longer lives could raise difficult questions. Who would have access to these treatments? Would they be available to everyone or only to the wealthy? How would resources be shared? How would governments, economies, and education adapt to a world where people lived far longer than before? And there is an even deeper question. If death disappeared, would life feel the same? Many philosophers have argued that mortality gives urgency to our choices. Because time is limited, we choose, we love, we forgive, we dream, we create. Would those moments feel as precious if tomorrow were almost guaranteed? Perhaps the value of life is connected not only to how long it lasts, but to the fact that it does not last forever. Science may one day help us live healthier, and perhaps much longer. But no one can say with certainty whether death itself will ever be defeated.
What we do know is that every generation has moved the boundary a little further. Diseases once considered fatal are now treatable. Average human life expectancy has increased dramatically over the past century. The impossible has become possible before. It may happen again. Perhaps the greatest challenge has never been defeating death. Perhaps it has always been learning how to live well while we are here. Because in the end, a long life is not necessarily a meaningful life. The question is not only, how long can we live? The greater question is, how should we live? And perhaps that is the answer humanity has been searching for all along.